Then...
Throwing ropes! Oh, shit! Lick it up, you yummy brown bear.
I mean, that's somebody's good time. But they did my man MM like they did Cindy in Scary Movie 2. Oh, no. What was a Scary Movie 1? Oh, my God. Herogasm did not fucking disappoint. Like, going into this, I was like, are they going to be able to capture the true debauchery that was Herogasm in the comic books, where it's just a giant soup orgy? Abso-fucking-lutely. You had my man, Love Sausage walking around, dicks out. You had that one dude walking around with like a full-on flaming dick, just swinging it back and forth. You got porn stars over here. You've got homegirl running electric currents through like dudes' nipples. You've got the shrinking guy over there. I was like, genius. The boys continues to impress. And it more or less impresses because when you actually sit down and you think about people, or just take a 5-minute stroll on TikTok, if superheroes existed, they'd probably get down to nefarious orgy shit like this. And I've got to thank the boys from the heart because they continue to find a way to catch me off guard every single fucking episode. So right off the top, my man Black Noir was like, peace. And I'm gonna have to make a video about where the fuck he went. Because as soon as he heard Soulja Boy was back, my man Noir was like, nope, stab, rip, yank, throw, dip. And I was like, yo, that is legitimately what you do when you know that somebody on the tier of Superman has beef with you. And he gets the fuck up out of there. Now, watching basically Soulja Boy be with Huey and Butcher, and basically learning about new cultures and the things that he missed, fucking hilarious. Like, the Bill Cosby joke, fucking hilarious. Huey's reaction to the Bill Cosby joke is also fucking funny. Like, it's the funniest interactions ever, because it's this guy with this, I wouldn't even say it's like a warped sense of self, but it's more like a warped moral compass, in the fact that from the time in which he's from, he remembers like America being friends with these people, and America leading from the chest, and like all of this like macho bravado bullshit. And it's super weird for him to see like all the ways in which essentially the world has changed since he's essentially been captured and trapped, but his entire focus is just getting revenge. And I really have to like tip my cap. Where the fuck is my hat? Who knows? Due to the fact that I thought he was going to betray Butcher, but he didn't. Like, he stuck to his guns and he kept his word. Butcher helps him take out Payback. He helps Butcher take out Homelander. And Soulja Boy, like I made in the video in regards to like love, same thing with Homelander. We see him, both of them basically going down this path of his whole reason for his revenge is that the people he thought that he were his friends, that were going to come and save him, who would have his back through thick and thin, they betrayed him because they never actually loved him in any way, shape, or form. Then on the opposite side of that spectrum, you've got Homelander realizing that he is basically all alone. He's isolated and he's by himself. Now, of course, like the narcissist that he is, he doesn't realize that he's the problem. He thinks that everyone else and the fact that they rely on like being human is the problem. But the issue is, you are human. Like, V is basically just an injection that turns people into soups. If he was raised better, he would have been a better Superman, because we see that Ryan is essentially being raised on the side to be better than Homelander. And I have a feeling that once Homelander is essentially dead, Ryan may end up coming in to substitute as the new top of the food chain hero for essentially the world, as long as the boys doesn't attempt to like kill him in any way, shape, or form. But we see the fraying of the edges that Mr. Edgar was talking about 2 episodes ago, maybe, where everything's falling apart. Soulja Boy's back. They're having horrible time essentially covering up all of the nefarious shit that they're up to, because the soups are basically making stupid decisions, like the deep firing the entire PR damage control department. A-Train's over here having a meltdown, which I have to say, I like Ashley as a character, and I feel as though she's going to be the one left holding the bag once all of this settles. But at the exact same time, she was absolutely fucking right to get into A-Train's ass, because he doesn't give a shit, and he never gave a shit. And she pointed out the fact that when he was running around accidentally killing people or accidentally causing collateral damage that led to people suffering or being paralyzed, he didn't give a fuck. He would go off with his boys and his friends, he would drink, and he would turn up, and he would go off and go do it again. She was the one who had to go get the broom, sweep it up, make sure everybody was okay, and then make sure that his reputation was sterling and perfect. So for him to basically turn around, the fuckboy that he is, and look at another fuckboy and go, well, I don't like what that guy over there is doing. It's like, well, why do you give a shit now? You care now because someone you care about got hurt. But you didn't give a shit during season 1 when the other people around you got hurt. And can I just say that him getting revenge is brutal as fuck. And it's also a callback, at least in my opinion, I believe it's a callback to racist attacks that used to happen in the South, where they would tie African Americans to the back of trucks and then drag them for like 40 miles. The fact that he grabbed him and just super sped ran him down the road, that's a callback to some nefarious shit that actually happens in the real world. So, and it's also brutal as fuck, the outcome for Blue Hawk, and the fact that A-Train may be dead, might not be dead. I'm not exactly sure. I guess we'll figure out next week whether or not A-Train's final run was that run, and he died on the side of a road like 40 miles away from the house. Now, Herogasm in and of itself, I knew it was going to end bad. Like, the second Soulja Boy said he was going to show up, and his conversation with Huey, where he was like, well, I don't know what happens, I just black out and then I wake up. It seems as though we've discovered the trigger, which is the trigger seems to be the Russian music, and I don't think it's anything deep along the lines of the Winter Soldier, where when he hears the music, he automatically activates the power and destroys everything around him. I have a feeling that it's more based on trauma, due to the fact that, just like Homelander, he felt as though he was invulnerable and unbeatable, and he was put into a situation where, for the first time in his life, after the war, he was vulnerable, and he was being experimented on, and he was being tortured, and there was nothing he could do about it. And him remembering those feelings causes him to essentially have something along the lines of a panic attack, and then that attack basically comes from his core, and he wipes out everything around him, because Huey had the radiation meter, and he was just like, he was like, okay, I don't know what caused it last time you blacked out, but you're kind of losing your shit right now, so I'm gonna need you to calm down, and let's talk through the situation that you're going through. The superhero throwdown is fantastic. The Boys continues to impress. Like, I'm trying to remember if this is the first time we've seen Homelander use super speed, because during the first season he could see when A-Train was running, and we've seen him fly at basically, like, we've seen him go supersonic when he takes off, but we've never, in my opinion, seen him while on the ground dash at someone at super speed. So that was dope as shit to see. The entire fight sequence between them was amazing. Homelander comes in, he's the bruiser, he doesn't really have like a fighting style. He's going up against Soulja Boy, who's actually blocking, parrying with the shield, smacking him in the face. Also, side note, that shield is fucking heavy. That shield has to at least weigh a ton, and I have no idea what the hell it's made out of, but it did eat a hit from Homelander, so it is sturdy, because Huey tries to move it when they're in the hotel, and it does not budge. So my man Soulja Boy is literally walking around with like a ton of just metal on his arm. So so pay attention. For the people who've been saying for like the last 3 weeks, Steve Rogers will be able to beat Soulja Boy in a fight. No, he won't. Like, Steve is dope. I love Steve. He's amazing. But if Steve Rogers, Captain America, and Soulja Boy got into a fight, Soulja Boy pops Captain America like a cherry. He's just dead. Like, there's no fight. Steve instantaneously dies. Across the board, 100%. Because we see him throw down with Homelander, who's on the tier, probably a tier below that of Superman. So, no, let's stop that argument right now. Ain't no way, cuz. Ain't no fucking way. Now, the reaction from Homelander when he gets blasted by Butcher with the with the energy beams, he gets hit in the chest, and you actually see damage because you see through the suit and it's burnt where Butcher hit him with the optic blast, and he's on the ground. He's like, what the fuck? What kind of shit? What did you do? Which confirms that Homelander is not aware of the temp V. Edgar never told him. Like, that was something that he was working on the side with the military, which confirms the fact that Homelander does not have as much control or have as much information about the company as he thought he did, due to the fact that Edgar probably took Temp V with him and left to work with the United States military, like, off on the side. Like, he's gonna land on his feet. Like I said it during the episode what will Edgar do next? He's landing on his feet. Like, he's basically washed his hand of the Vought situation, and he's willing to sit back and watch Vought burn to the ground while he rebuilds and restarts somewhere else with a more controlled superhero group, or in general just a controlled military group. Now, Huey and Starlight, man, I'm gonna have to make a video about them, because I feel as though Huey's always been insecure, and I feel like the year or the 6 months that he spent working with the senator that he didn't know that she was a soup, I feel as though the year that he spent with her kind of basically it covered over his insecurities without fixing them, and then when he realized he was being taken advantage of, the insecurities kind of drastically multiplied by like 100. And it doesn't help the fact that he's also taking the Temp V. So him and Starlight ending up on opposite sides of the board, where he's willing to use Soldier Boy no matter how many people he kills, as long as he's able to kill Homelander. He's essentially latched on to Butcher's crusade. And I feel as though Huey is essentially Butcher's kryptonite, because we see when Soldier Boy is about to use the blast, Butcher's 100% ready to die. He's like, yo, I'm holding Homelander down. Go ahead and do your thing, Playboy. Like, blast him away. And then he's like, Huey, get out of here. Typically, Butcher wouldn't give a shit. He'd just be like, you know, whatever. Like, collateral damage. We saw that in regards to Madeline's baby in season 1. But he actually cares about Huey. So I have a feeling that Huey is going to be Butcher's kryptonite in some way, shape, or form going forward. Also, it seems as though Soldier Boy has, at least powers-wise, there's the one where he blacks out and he doesn't realize what he did. And then there's the one where he's actually awake and he uses the power himself. They're going to have to sort that out as well. Because Butcher realized when he came down the steps and he was like, what the hell happened here? Butcher was like, motherfucker, you really don't know? What you think? That I walked through here and I did all this? I think I walked through here and I did all this shit? Absolutely not. In any way, shape, or form. And of course, we see Homelander just peace out. And I love the fact that they do that, because if you're someone like Superman who can fly and you're getting your ass handed to you by people that are basically terrestrial, they can only walk, when you're basically overwhelmed, just take to the sky. What are they gonna do? They can't chase after you. You just straight up into the sky, right up into the stratosphere. Like, there's no way that they can do anything in any way, shape, or form to stop you. And you just basically keep it moving from there, because he peaced out. And I like the shot of him in the mirror, because we see him talking to himself earlier in the mirror. But I like the shot of him in the mirror with a bruise on his face, because he's probably never been bruised before, which is something I definitely want to also talk about as well. And you see, it looks like the walls are coming down. If the walls were coming down, then Starlight absolutely ripped them down when she decided to quit and basically out-Vought and Homelander and Soldier Boy basically to like the entire fucking world. So I already know like the last few episodes, we got like 2 episodes left, something along those lines, are going to be fan-fucking-tastic. And I cannot fucking wait. Comment down below what your favorite scene was from the end of this episode. Like, I really want to know, because there were so many good ones. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.